Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're enjoying the outdoors like Starlight is, and what a beautiful day. This is perfect weather here, and I'm always going to inspire you. Come on, come on, come on. Put the remote control down. Get out and breathe in that beautiful air out here, outside, that is, if you're in your house, if you spend a lot of time in your house, open up the windows, get some air in there, the dust, I'll tell you, I've been in a lot of houses, seen a lot of dust, so it's good to open up that window, let some nice cool breeze in there, let the sun shine in there, and not to get too hot, though. You don't want to get too hot in your house. But anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you can give my videos a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't be afraid to swing by and say hi, Starlight, by leaving me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And sorry, my shirt is besides leaving me a message, is you could share my videos with your family, your friends. Let's see, a spider or a skunk? P-U. And not you, it's a skunk. Come on, I'm not saying you stink. So besides that, is you could also check out my playlist. Sorry about the airplane. Besides checking out my playlist, you can follow me on Instagram as 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And before I start this video, I just want to say a big, huge thank you to those of you that know how to leave a positive comment to help Starlight out on this YouTube channel. Thank you, and you, and you, so this is what my channel is about being there for each other. So I love you all, and thank you for those of you who watch my videos or have subscribed, or even leave me a comment down below, or even share my videos. Thank you all. So anyway, besides that, today, sorry about that noise. Get a motorcycle, that's loud. So anyway, today this video is about, hang on, vroom, vroom, vroom. Starlight loves motorcycles. Not in the front seat, absolutely not. So I'm just waiting for that baby to leave, because I know the background sound really picks up easily on my videos. I'm just sorry, everybody. Okay, so today's video is about how to weed a garden. What, Starlight? This is a YouTube channel, isn't it? I know. Don't you know how to weed a garden? Starlight loves having a garden. Do you love having a garden? Well, I'll tell you what, just like our life, is it's a lot of work to have a garden. If you've had a garden, raise your hand. Oh, there's a few of you. Some of you, I don't see no hands. So some of you have had a garden, some of you don't have a garden. So now anybody can know this, but maybe you don't know anything about gardens, maybe you don't care anything about plants, but Starlight loves to have a garden. And yes, it does take a lot of time to have a garden, especially like the way Starlight, when she is ready and prepared to do this ahead of time. I love having a garden where I start the seeds by itself. I go get the seeds, and I get the soil, the correct kind of soil that I need, like seed starting soil, to start your seeds, and the right lighting, the space, you need to have all of this, timers, got to have timers, so then sometimes you don't, sometimes you do, depending on how the setup is in your house, because each plant needs a certain amount of light and a certain amount of darkness, so that's why timers sometimes come in. But depending on where it is located, you might not even have to worry about that. Some people have sunroom where they have it, their seedings in the sun, right on the, in a sunroom, where they don't have to worry about a light. But if you don't have a light, like a light room, like with the sun, then you have to get the right kind of lights and have the plants where they're keep the light in to where the plants are, so then it gets all the light that it can in a certain many hours that those seeds need, so they can germinate. And so you don't want to overwater the seeds, and it's a lot of work starting off with seeds, because each seed will have directions on the back depending on where you live. Now, Starlight is not a garden expert here. I call it beginners, because there's so much to learn about gardening. But so anyway, when you garden and all that stuff, when those little seedlings, when they get bigger, you got to keep them in the house for a period of time, especially certain plants, because like tomato plants, when you got little seedlings and they're only like this tall, there's certain things that you got to do with those little seedlings when they get bigger. They might be that tall. And I don't know what you know about seeds and when you start them off little, but with tomato plants, you're supposed to really carefully, is underneath the leaves, is to little pinch. And it kind of, I think what it does is it kind of close it, but then it will sprout out later, and it will send more energy through the plant to kind of get it to grow better, is by, you have to pinch it a little bit. And then there's certain little things that you got to do with the little babies, so then it's gonna, those seeds, those little plants are gonna produce more fruit. So after you have all your seedlings, or if you're one of those people, I call it cheating. You're cheating. So I call it cheating, is when you actually, instead of doing it by seeds, because it does, you got to know what you're doing, and you will learn as you go, the do's and don'ts, not watering too much, you can't, just like a person, you don't want to give them too much sun, right? What happens Starlight, what happens to you when you get too much sun? It's not good. I can have breathing problems, anxiety that will pop up when I'm getting too much sun. So like right now, I'm in the shade. So it's great to get the sun, but at the same time, you can get sun cancer if you're out in the sun too much. So you want to protect your skin, and you want to either protect your skin by putting something that's not filled with chemicals on your body, on your skin, to protect yourself from burning, so you don't get skin cancer. Because I've known people that they had to get their ear and they had to get skin off their face and he loved going to the ocean. It was an older man, but he ended up getting skin cancer. So anytime he saw me, he's like, "Did you put sunscreen on?" Because he knows what it's like getting skin cancer. So it is important, but just like a plant's only supposed to get so much sun. So it's so important, just like us people. So I'm going to compare plants with people here on this video. So it is gardening, but this is just what I learned in church anyway before. Is, sorry about the background music here, is with plants, is that you have to make sure that you're taking good care. You got your garden that was already set up. Oh, sorry, I got kind of distracted here. Is, for cheaters, those are the people that go out to the store and they go buy the tomato plants that are like, who knows how big. They get them. They're like, "Yeah, there's my tomato plants." Hey, that's great. That is for people that really don't have a lot of time or space, and they can just put it in the garden. It's all ready, and with the frost has already passed, more than likely, to be able to plant them in the garden. They're hardier at that time because they, sorry about this. I gotta stop that. So with these plants, when you're sticking them in the garden, they're hardier when they're bigger. Just like a person, we all, we're all on our own journey, even though we're all family, is we all don't know the same information. And as far as like a plant goes in a garden, is when you start planting plants in your garden, you got it all tilled out. You already got your rows all, like how you want your rows. You already dug in the ground with a hoe, or whatever you use. Everybody uses different things. There's different tools that you can use to do a garden. Starlight has done garden work without a rotiller. I'll tell you what, talk about working your ass off. You got to dig the sod out first with a shovel, shake the sod out, make sure you get all the goodies, the worms and all that. You want the worms in there, because that is going to help fertilize your soil. But when you got everything all set up, and you got your rows set up where you know where you're going to plant your stuff, you might even made a little paper, like to put, hey, this is where I want all my corn, and depending on where the sun is located, it's a lot of science in here to do a garden, because you don't want to have your garden set up in a wrong way where the tall plants block all the smaller plants from getting any sun. So you got to make sure you put things in the right order in your garden. But when you take all this time and work, especially when you're doing it by seeds, you have to protect your plants. You put a lot of time. Yes, it's cheaper, but it takes longer to get those plants where they're ready to go in the garden. So just like with people, like on my YouTube channel, this is a lot of work having a YouTube channel, and I am new. I say I'm new. I'm a beginner here. So with people on my YouTube channel, I have people out here that I am helping on my YouTube channel. So my job is like a gardener here, is to make sure that they have different kind of things that they can get help with. And like I said earlier, too much sun on a plant is not good. You got to have a balanced flow with a garden, like just like a garden in the daytime, from the east the sun will rise, and so that's how you want your garden kind of set up, is like the smaller stuff in the front where the east is. I'm not I'm not an expert, but that is what I'm thinking right now, is that you want the smaller stuff in the front because the sun is going to come and shine on all those smaller plants, and then in the back would be great for corn if you were going to go grow corn in the back, but all those plants, they need to have so much sun. Now, what if we didn't live in a world where, say if it was sun 24 hours instead of 12 hours sun and 12 hours dark? Well, then it's going to get too much sun. So that is the same with my YouTube channel, is, life, we have different weathers for different reasons. It's not always sunshine here, right? It's not always about being positive 24/7. We're going to have times in our life that we're going to have stuff going on emotionally. People are going to hurt us. People are going to, we're going to take people wrong sometimes, and that happens. So you got to have balance in life, and that goes right along with plants, is that if you give a plant too much sun, then it's not good. It's got to have the shade and the sun. So you can't expect with my YouTube channel always talk about sunshine all the time, because that's not the way reality is. To get the kind of help that you really need, we need to talk about areas in your life that are not so pleasant, things that we got to face. That's a part of dealing with our shadow side. I can't just talk on my YouTube channel about life is beautiful, but is life always 100%? No, we have the dark and the light. So that is this whole thing with life in itself, is that we have dark energies and light energy, and is one better than the other? No, we need the dark and we need the light. So we need the balance of both. The dark energy out there will bring people to the light. Bad shit happens to people, and a lot of times when that bad stuff happens to people, a lot of them, not all of them, will go within maybe and find out what is going on with themselves, or they will go through therapy, counseling, or a church to try to get help because they're dealing with stuff in their life and they don't know how to deal with it. And and that will help them to deal with their shadow aspects of themselves that we need to deal with. We can't always, it doesn't always, there's people that I've met many times. When it's sunny, they're happy. They don't want it when it rains. They'll complain when it rains out. They'll complain when the clouds come out. And we can't control the weather out here, right? No, that's why we have to accept the sun when the sun comes out. And that's why you need to protect yourself. If it's too sunny, get in the shade or put some stuff, go inside, but balance yourself. You don't want to always be inside. You want to get outside, and that's why I'm always inspiring you to get outside. This is where you're going to get in touch with nature and find out who you really are and get in touch with God out here, is to get out in Mother Nature, Mother Earth. So you need to have that balance of light and dark. And just like there's people out there that they're going to rub us the wrong way, but those people are going to help us to work on ourselves. When they get us upset, that means that we got work to do. So the dark and the light we need, just like with me. You think I'm all sunshine all the time? No, I'm not all sunshine all the time. We all have our days. We all have our times of feeling low, feeling not loved at certain times. But this is where we need to realize that, hey, I got work to do. And that is okay. Accepting your flaws, accepting that, hey, I'm not perfect. But guess what? We're not here to be perfect. And like having a garden, like I was saying earlier, about laying out your plants, making sure, and watering watering your plants over, this is where Starlight, this is where Starlight has a problem with plants, is it will have the right amount of sun and the right amount of darkness, but what does Starlight do with plants a lot of times? Not all the time, because I've learned you can't over water the plants. They will get wildered. I don't know if I'm saying that. They'll wilt. Like if you overwater a tomato plant, they will just, and then there's the end of that. Tomato plants, depending on the size, when they're little, even the cold, too much cold, and if it's frost, there goes your tomato plants. Believe me, I had a whole bunch of tomato plants. Starlight overdoes it when I do plants, but there goes the whole thing. All my tomato plants died. They were babies. It was just too early. The wind, and that's how people are in this society, in this world, is sometimes they get knocked over, by the things of this world. They're around the wrong kind of people, and so that's why it's so important to protect yourself, is because those things can happen just like plants. We can't overwater, and that's like there's some people as parents, they give them too much love to their children. You're thinking, how could they overlove? Well, they need to focus on the other parts of their children, not to always say how great they're doing all the time, and not being really honest and real and letting them know that, hey, there's things that you got to work on. You got to have balance with your kids. You got to teach them that, hey, you're doing great here. And a positive thing that they need to see when they're doing a good job. So give your kids credit, even your husband or wife or your family. When they're doing good, give them credit when they're doing good, but you guess what? Just like with my kids, I can't always just say, hey, you're all the time, because, I could see a negative, a thing that they're not doing really good, and just always focus on all the positive stuff and never focus on anything that they need to work on. Is that really being a great mom, to say, hey, I'm only going to tell you what you're doing good. I'm not really going to let you know when I see that, there's things that you're doing that is not helping you. Like, if your kids are over drinking, what are you going to do? Hey, keep on, no. Being a parent is tough love. It is tough. And it's not easy for anybody that's out here being a YouTuber, helping people to love themselves and to put videos to inspire people, but at the same time to be real, because we're not in a world that everything is all peaches and cream, right? No, do you watch the news? Yeah. So are you a person that loves watching the news? Well, that's a lot of negativity. Some people will cut my videos, give me comments on my YouTube channel, but they probably watch the news, watch a whole bunch of negative stuff, but then they pour out their negativity on my YouTube channel, but they love that stuff, you know, but when it affects them in a negative way, that they think it's a negative way, it hurts them emotionally, because they see it, it shows that they have a shadow side that they need to work on, and they might not be ready to work on that yet. There's pastors that get attacked for preaching the word of God and teaching people and preaching things out at the church, the congregation, because sometimes those people are not ready to deal with that stuff, like telling people that smoking cigarettes is not healthy for you, that you really should quit. I love and care about you, but but they might not be ready to quit smoking cigarettes yet. So if they're not ready, they're not ready. Believe me, if they're not ready to give up smoking cigarettes, they're not ready. You can't force somebody to give up smoking cigarettes. My brother passed away from smoking cigarettes, from cancer. So, and that's why I put videos, because I care. I know what it's like losing somebody that died because of smoking something that was not healthy for him. So we can't always hear about how good we're doing all the time. And I do put positive videos, but then I watch, I'm like, how many views on being grateful? Where were you when I put the video on, are you grateful for the things in your life? You know, so my YouTube channel is my YouTube channel. So you got to really be mindful on, you know, wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're a YouTube channel creator or in life itself. Do your thing. Don't let other people control you and tell you what to do. If they think they got it figured out, let them have a YouTube channel and see what they think about being a YouTube creator content, okay? So it's not that I don't love you. I'm here learning as I go, and so I am sending love to all of those people out there that even send negative comments on my YouTube channel. But like a garden is that I have beautiful plants. Okay, visualize. Starlight's got some beautiful plants in her garden. Let me see. I got beautiful tomato plants. They're doing really good. They're, you know, like, I don't even know how old they would be, but, you know, they're a couple months old. They're really doing good in my garden. They look really good. But you know what would happen if I let the weeds take, you know, if I don't do the weeding, if I don't take care of the weeds in my garden, those weeds, I've had gardens that were really bad, where the weeds in that area in the sand, the seeds that were, it was a mess. There was weeds that came up, and I can't remember where I lived. It might have been, I don't even know where I had this garden, but there was a garden that I had that I rotilled the whole thing by shovel, and, you know, doing it the hard old-fashioned way is I had everything all set up, and there was weeds in that whole area, in this whole land, that these weeds had little prickers and leaves that had little like little thorns or something. I don't even know what you call them. But when these babies came up out of the ground, what these weeds did is they were thin, and they had these things that would grab a hold, just like not like a rose bush, but there's certain plants. And what it did is when these weeds came out of the ground, they grabbed a hold because of the thorns and all that on the stem and on the leaves of this weed, would grab a hold, wrap right around my tomato plants and yank it down, because that is what it was doing. It was actually choking the life out of my beautiful tomato plants that I planted from seed. That's a lot of work, right? Just like me being a YouTube creator. It is not easy being a YouTube creator. And, you know, I've been inspired to have a YouTube. I have things to help people out that are suffering, that are going through some stuff. I've gone through hell to learn how I got through a lot of things in my life. So my YouTube channel is to help people to work on themselves and to love themselves. My YouTube channel is not here to people please. So like with a plant, I got people that I'm helping to help them grow and help them to work on themselves. Now, if I let like a weed come in my garden of, you know, where God has called me to do what I'm doing, and I have a big ass weed in my beautiful garden that I worked so hard, you know, rotilling it, making sure it had water, making sure the sprinklers are set up, making sure I turn the sprinkler, you know, in the morning time is the best time to water your garden. Why? Because the sun will go underneath the roots and it could dry out your roots. And I don't know if they call it root rot or whatever, because Starlight's not a perfection on gardening, but I do know if you're going to plant like a new plant in your garden or anywhere in your yard, you want to water it first thing, and get a lot of water to have it to go underneath the root system. It's got to be underneath the root system. If you don't have the water going underneath the root system, then those roots are not going to get water, and it could kill the plant, and there goes that beautiful plant that you just planted, you know, wherever you got that plant. So it's so important as far as a gardener goes is that you take out the weeds. You have to remove the weeds to save those plants, to save your tomatoes, to save other plants that are can be fragile. You know, some plants are more fragile than others depending on what time they're growing. If they're babies, you bet your ass you better get those weeds out of there. Just like with my YouTube channel. If there's weeds on my YouTube channel that are sending me messages, I love you that you're here. But guess what? I gotta pull you out by the root with love, because you're just going to ruin the plants that I am just growing here. These, you know, people need help. There's lots of people that are suffering in the world. So that is a part of being a YouTuber. If I let weeds grow on my YouTube channel, there goes my YouTube channel, right? So we need to be wise as people, is to love those people. Hey, I love you, but those people need love. So, and I'll tell you what, Starlight knows about weeding. And if you're gonna pull a weed out, no matter what weed it is, you gotta get it out right by the root. Say, I love you, weed, you know, but you gotta get out of my garden. I put a lot of work and time and money in my garden, and I'm not having you to ruin my beautiful tomato plants or my beautiful strawberry plants that are just starting to pop up. No, I desire to eat the fruit later on. You know, there's a time that harvest time to be able to, you know, if I let weeds come in my garden, when it comes to harvest time, I'm not going to have anything to pick. Just like even pests that come in the gardens, you know. If I don't have a fence around my garden to keep animals out that are going to just come in and eat all my fruit, would that be wise of me to have a garden without a fence? Absolutely not. I've had groundhogs. Man, they were the worst. They chopped up all my broccoli. They love broccoli. You know, like my broccoli was doing so beautiful. It was my first time growing broccoli. And I woke up one day and we had a whole bunch of groundhogs, but I didn't have a fence because I was having a garden on a hill. And they ate all the broccoli. So I love you, groundhog. But, you know, I had to discourage the groundhog. Not that I would hurt the groundhog. No, I love the groundhog. I'm not going to go kill it. So there's ways that people, what they do is to get rid of those kind of animals around their garden, is that they get little cages and they put food in there, you know, hoping that the animal will go in there, you know, and get it caged. And then they take that groundhog or, you know, rabbits, silly old rabbits. You know, I love rabbits, but rabbits can do a damage on gardening. You know, so people have ways of keeping rabbits out of their gardens by growing marigolds in their garden, you know, to keep the rabbits away for, you know, would it be wise if I say, hey, rabbits, come on. Now there's some animals, oh, even birds. So birds, I love the birds. Now, do I hate the birds? Absolutely not. But even birds can ruin things in the garden by eating things in your garden. So there's people that will use sticks, and they will use a throwaway pie tin, that, you know, the recycling pie tins that you get at the store, and they will put those in their garden because the sun will shine on that, and it will keep the birds out, you know, from the garden. And there's other ways that you can kind of keep animals out by feeding them somewhere else. So then they're like, hey, forget the garden, man. There's food over here. So there's ways that you can keep, you know, the pests out of your house, out of your garden. But just like with my YouTube channel, I love every one of you, whether you believe that or not. So I am not sitting out here saying that I'm perfect, but I'm not gonna have people come on my YouTube channel and destroy all the hard work that I took to build what I am doing. I had everything. I had my own cleaning business. I had my apartment. Most of you didn't even check out my videos in the beginning, so you have no clue to where the heck I came from. I love you. I'm here not to people please. I'm here to God please. I'm here to help people because I've gone through shit in my life, so I can use that information, the things that I've gone through, the things I've endured, to help other people, help them to be the change that you want to see in the world. So I love you all, but Starlight is not gonna accept people on my YouTube channel that are, you know, trying to destroy everything that I build on my YouTube channel. Just like a garden, it would make total nonsense. It would make no sense for me to go through the whole work of rotilling a garden by hand, or even having, you know, renting a rotiller and rotilling all that, you know, picking up all the sod, plant, you know, getting all the rows, buying all the plants, to have something or someone to come in and destroy everything that I worked so hard for. Absolutely not. So I love you, but weeds have to come out. That would be foolish on my part to say, hey, yeah, you're destroying everything I built. Here, you could stay. No, you could stay, but I'm not going to accept your rude comments on my YouTube channel. When you weren't here from the very beginning of my YouTube channel, you don't know who I am, and I love you, but I'm not going to accept those kind of rude comments on my YouTube channel when you don't know who I am, and you need love. And I love you, and this is what Starlight is doing. I'm sending love out to you. And so with a garden, you have to make sure the weeds are taken care of. You have to pull them out by the roots, and with love say, I love you, but you gotta go. I cannot let you ruin everything I worked so hard for. I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also share my videos with your family, your friends. A rabbit? A groundhog? Yeah, why not? I love the groundhog and the rabbit and the birds. And also, you can check out my playlist. Plus, follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Digma Starlight. I love you all. Yes, you and you, even if you leave me rude comments. Anyway, I love you. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.